My name is Rebecca Moore. I am from the International Academy of Design and Technology. I am an instructor in the fashion design department. Currently, we are doing a special project for Antoine Dublicard, and it is a wilderness jacket.
As I started doing the outdoors, I started kind of realizing the relative importance of things, and I started buying some gear, and I started realizing that a lot of the gear that's out in the marketplace, even for things that are relatively extreme, so people that are extreme outdoorsmen, whether it's hunting or fishing or whatever else, there's some really wonderful things out there, and there are things that, for whatever reason, seem to be missing certain things, and it's very hard to get something that has all the right pieces. So it's very hard to find something that's going to be warm and can yet handle a situation where you might need to take off some layers or linings, and yet have a lot of pockets, and yet be safe, and so on and so forth. So I started really hunting around for a lot of this material, and I bought a lot of it, and I tried a lot of it, and I started realizing really that there were some just notable problems with most of the gear I could find. And it got to a point where, after a fair amount of research, I said it'd be interesting for me to try to see if I could make a better set of gear. And one of the things that became most important is a vest or a jacket.
Challenge that was presented to us that had nothing to do with fashion, like no fashion elements in it whatsoever. And it was the first time that we had to design something that helped someone survive in the wilderness.
When the project was first presented, we decided that there were going to need 2 teams. So each team was going to produce our own sample of the jacket. And I was a little concerned that both teams' jackets were going to be almost identical. We were both pretty crafty, though, in terms of solving the functional aspects that you need for a jacket of this style. You can only place pockets in so many locations in so many different ways, so we could only come up with so many solutions. However, they weren't the same, so the jackets are not identical.
The first thing that we did, our teacher came to us with a project, so we researched it because we didn't know anything about it. And then we took inspiration from different wilderness jackets that we saw, and we pulled together sketches with ideas that we wanted to use for our jacket.
Antoine came in and he was telling us about certain stuff, like with clients. It was more like, okay, this is a real life consumer, real life customer that we can really branch off and get the feel of what he wants. Like with things, he was telling us about the temperature and the warmth of the jacket and more pockets that he needed for his jacket. So that kind of helped a lot with the jacket.
Well, when he first came in, he brought in a ton of examples, pretty much like an entire collection of wilderness equipment, and he pretty much showed us all the different details he liked in each of the differing pieces and what kind of stuff there was out there.
He gave us good advice. It made us change a little bit up in the jacket. He actually gave us ideas that we didn't even think about. So he helped us out a lot when he came.
We have 2 groups, and I was probably going to start with Nina's group with their jacket. So if you guys want to come up and see how the jackets look.
It's all about practicality, isn't it? Made a pocket back there to store, clothing, and like say they wanted to take a layer off, throw it back there, and it would act as a compartment / little seat pad. We had to think about things like that, which we never had to think about before.
It's great to see something translate from a sketch to your patterns work out really well, and then to see it as a final product and it's coming to a close, and it's like, it almost looks like we bought this from the store, and that's really cool.
A lot of it came down to material choices. We selected similar materials, but certainly not the same. Our jacket actually is in camouflage, as theirs is in a solid neutral color, and that really sets the 2 jackets in very different tones. When you look at ours looks actually like a military jacket because it's in military camo, and it's the first impression that you get, first thing that you think of.
They thought, you know, they could have a little competition on whose jacket was going to be the best. And one of the things that they decided on was how many ping pong balls they could fit into their jacket. So that's what they're going to do tonight. They're each going to see who can fit the most ping pong balls in all of their pockets.
I think we were a little intimidated at first, but we were excited at the same time. I mean, excited because we've never done anything like this before. And we're just, the ideas just started going right when we were presented with the idea, I think.
It brought us laughter, fun, and like I said, thinking outside the box was something I would have never thought about doing.
Overall, I mean, the process was fantastic. I think it was really exciting to see with the guidance and all the samples that I provided. My intent was not to drive the process. It was to provide what was needed. And the students did an exceptional job at adapting to those comments. And what's going to be fascinating is I'm going to be testing these garments over the next few months, and it'll be really interesting to see how they work. I've already got some great hunches about how they're going to perform. I think they're going to do really well, but obviously the proof is in the pudding, and the next step is to get out there and put them to the test.